Indiana Fever got a win.
Terrible game, but a fantastic fourth quarter from Caitlin Clark.
85-77 over the Connecticut Sun.
Like 9 points in the fourth quarter, huge.
Every genre of sport knows she's one of the most popular.
Caitlin turning the gas up.
Caitlin was fantastic. You live by Caitlin, you die by Caitlin.
Caitlin Clark will win the game because of her impact on the game, her gravity on the game. She draws the attention.
She's playing, the adrenaline's going, she's moving around like she wants to move.
2 minutes ago, the entire WNBA world witnessed a moment they'll never forget. Caitlin Clark didn't just show up, she showed out with pure vengeance. After weeks of criticism, rough plays, and backhanded comments, the rookie phenom finally snapped. And baby, she snapped in style. The Indiana Fever walked into that arena with one goal: shut everyone up, especially Marina Mabrey and the Connecticut Sun, who've been throwing low-key shade for weeks. What unfolded on that court wasn't just a game, it was personal. Clark unleashed her full-range deep threes, no-look dimes, and a level of intensity that had the entire crowd on its feet. And Marina. Let's just say she picked the wrong one to mess with. This wasn't just basketball. This was Caitlin's revenge tour. And it's only the beginning. So if you thought she was overrated, if you thought she couldn't lead, think again. Because tonight, she reminded everyone exactly who she is. No one expected the atmosphere to feel like this. As the Indiana Fever walked into the arena, it wasn't just another regular season game. There was something electric in the air, something tense. The crowd could feel it. Social media had already been buzzing for hours. Fans from both sides were tweeting, posting stories, dropping hot takes, all waiting to see if Caitlin Clark would finally answer back. The Connecticut Sun had been on a roll. They were tough, physical, and unapologetic. And Marina Mabrey, she has been one of the loudest critics lately. Not directly, but with her energy, her body language, her smirks, and her constant on-court digs. Ever since that incident, the one where Caitlin got knocked down hard and no one helped her up, things had shifted. The league was treating her like she didn't belong, like she had to earn her spot over and over again. But tonight, she wasn't just here to play. She was here to make them feel every single second of disrespect. From the moment the tip-off happened, you could tell Caitlin wasn't playing around. Her eyes were locked in. She wasn't smiling. There were no flashy gestures, just straight fire. First possession. She grabs the ball near the arc. Dribbles left, step back, three-pointer swish. Nothing but net. The crowd roared. And Marina. She rolled her eyes like it didn't matter, but the tension between them was visible. Caitlin wasn't done. Second play, she sprints down the court, fakes a pass, then whips a no-look dime straight into Aaliyah Boston's hands for an easy finish. The Fever bench stood up. Social media already exploding. People were tweeting things like, Caitlin Clark moving different. Tonight, did she just ice Marina like that? The revenge tour has officially started. But this wasn't just about points. It was about energy. Every time Marina touched the ball, Caitlin was in her face. Close, intense, locked in. She wasn't giving her any breathing room. It felt personal. Halfway through the first quarter, Marina tried to shake her off with a crossover, but Caitlin stayed with her, tighter than ever. Marina forced a shot, missed. Caitlin grabbed the rebound, pushed full court, and hit a trailing shooter for another three. Timeout, Connecticut. The crowd was losing it. And as the players walked back to their benches, Caitlin walked right past Marina, not saying a word, but giving her that look. That you started this look. Behind the scenes, coaches had been telling Caitlin to stay composed. Don't get caught up in the drama, they said. But tonight, she chose violence. Silent violence. Poetic violence. The second quarter came, and the Connecticut Sun tried to fight back. Duana Bonner went to work in the post. Alyssa Thomas started, pushing tempo, and for a second, it looked like they might find a rhythm. But then Caitlin snapped again. This time was a steal right from Marina's hands.
Game had a little bit of everything. Caitlin Clark was struggling at times, especially with her shot.
She just took over in the fourth quarter there.
Caitlin Clark struggles shooting, and the Fever still win the game.
She anticipated the pass like a psychic, jumped the lane, grabbed the ball, and sprinted down the court solo. Marina tried to chase, but Caitlin had too much space. And then she pulled up dot. Not at the three-point line, not at the elbow dot, but from the logo crowd. Dead silent, release, swish, it was over. That wasn't just a shot. That was a statement, a warning, a declaration of war. And the camera caught it perfectly. Marina's face as the ball fell through the net. Jaw slightly clenched, hands on her hips. She knew she messed up, because this wasn't just rookie Caitlin Clark. This was don't mess with me, Caitlin Clark. The halftime buzzer came, and the Fever was up by double digits. The arena was electric, and yet no one was relaxed. Not the coaches, not the fans, and definitely not the Sun. They knew a storm had arrived, and her name was Caitlin. Inside the Fever locker room was quiet, intense. Coach Stanley didn't need to yell. All eyes were on Caitlin. "Whatever's fueling you tonight," she said, "keep it going." Caitlin nodded, tying her shoelaces tighter. She didn't need a pump-up speech. She didn't need revenge explained. She got her revenge. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Suns' locker room was tense. Coach Miller was pacing, trying to get them to respond. "She's getting in your heads," he said. "Play your game. Stop reacting." But it was too late, because Marina wasn't just reacting. She was spiraling. The taunts, the drama, the embarrassment, it was getting to her. She looked shaken. She looked like someone who poked a lion. Your gut lions don't play. The third quarter was about to begin, and no one, absolutely no one, was ready for what was coming next. The third quarter started, and Caitlin turned up the heat. Bah! Energy inside the building was wild. Every time she touched the ball, the fans stood up, phones out, recording history. Marina tried to get her rhythm back. She came out aggressive, taking 2 quick shots. One fell in, but the other bricked hard off the rim. Caitlin caught the rebound, and just like that, Quay was off again, slicing through defenders with laser focus. On one insane possession, she spun around 2 defenders, drove into the paint, then kicked the ball out midair to the corner. The shot, nothing but net. Fans screamed like it was the playoffs. Commentators went wild. "She's on another level tonight." Next play, Marina tried to attack, hoping to draw a foul on Caitlin. Instead, she fumbled the ball. Caitlin dove for it, landed hard, clutched it tight, and called timeout before Marina could even touch her, and the camera caught it again. That look, cold, calm, tall, Coach Stanley smiled from the sidelines. She's not just playing the game, she's rewriting it. By now, Caitlin had hit 4 threes, dished out 8 assists, and racked up 3 steals. And her biggest target, Marina, looked lost, frustrated, like the spotlight was too hot to handle. The Sun tried to respond with more physicality. Marina shoved Aaliyah Boston on a rebound, drawing a flagrant foul. Their bench looked nervous. They were cracking, and Caitlin. She stood at half court, hands on her hips, staring at the chaos. Silent, unbothered, cold-blooded. By the end of the third, the Fever had stretched the lead to 18 points. The energy was nuclear. Fans could feel something special was happening, something personal, something unforgettable.
Caitlin Clark is a basketball player, yes, but she's really an entertainer. The long threes, the passes, the fast pace. She is a high wire act. She brings in new fans to be entertained. No one else does that.
Forgettable. As the buzzer rang, Caitlin walked back to the bench. Calm as ever, Marina passed her head down, and Caitlin didn't even look her way, because the message had already been sent. The fourth quarter was about to begin. But the damage was already done. The look in the Connecticut Sun's eyes told the whole story. They'd been stunned, shaken, and broken down by a rookie who came in with something to prove. Yet Caitlin wasn't done. Not even close. As the clock started ticking, she stepped back onto the floor with a presence that screamed unfinished business. The Fever had the lead, but she wanted the statement. She wanted every player who disrespected her, every commentator who doubted her, and every fan who dismissed her to feel this one. The first play of the quarter, she calls for an ISO. The crowd already knows what's coming. The arena gets quiet, not from boredom, but anticipation. It's just Caitlin one-on-one with Marina at the top of the key. Marina drops her stance, trying to act like she's still in control, but her eyes betray her. She's nervous. She knows what's coming. Caitlin dribbles slow at first, then a lightning quick. Crossover. Marina bites. Wrong move. Caitlin steps back behind the arc, hesitates just enough to freeze her, then pulls swish. Again. The crowd explodes. Fans are screaming, jumping, hugging strangers. Even opposing fans are clapping now. The Fever bench goes wild. Players are banging the floor in disbelief. And Marina, she doesn't say a word. She just walks away. She's done talking, done competing. Because whatever Caitlin is on tonight, it's not normal. The broadcast cuts to a live tweet feed. This ain't just a game. This is a funeral for Marina's confidence. Caitlin Clark got that revenge energy tonight. Don't poke. The Bear? Rookie? Nah. She's the queen now. On the court, the Fever keeps feeding Caitlin. She hits another three from the corner, then drives past two defenders and finishes through contact. She's not just scoring, she's bullying. She's setting the tone for every single player on that floor. Even Aliyah Boston, a beast in her own right, looks over and shakes her head. Like, yo, what got into her? Midway through the fourth, Connecticut tries one last run. Alyssa Thomas scores on a breakaway. Okay? Then Bonner draws a foul and hits 2 free throws. The Sun cut the lead to 12. They trap Caitlin full court, desperate, but she doesn't panic. She spins away from one, crosses another, and fires a bullet pass down court to Mitchell for an open layup. Timeout Connecticut. Coach Miller's face says it all. Not anger, not frustration, just defeat. On the sideline, he tells Marina, we don't have an answer for her. Just do what you can. But Marina isn't responding anymore.
Terrible game, but a fantastic fourth quarter from Caitlin Clark. Like 9 points in the fourth quarter, huge.
Caitlin turning the gas up in the last 5 or 6 minutes of the game, and she goes on a little run to clinch it.
She's staring at the Jumbotron, replaying Caitlin's last shot. That deep logo 3 that barely touched the net. The same look plays over and over like a haunting memory. Each time the crowd cheers louder. And the worst part, Caitlin never talks trash, never taunts, never celebrates. Because her game is the message. As the clock winds down, the Fever keeps pressing the advantage. Not to run up the score, but to prove something. This wasn't about one win. It was about who runs this court now. With 3 minutes left, the Fever led by 19. Caitlin has 30 points, Kane assists, 5 rebounds, Kana, and 3 steals. The crowd is chanting MVP, and you can see tears in the eyes of some fans. Not because of the stats, but because they know they're watching a legend being born right in front of them. The camera pans to celebrities courtside. Rainbow legends, NBA players, even some hip-hop artists showed up tonight just to see what the hype was about. And now, they're believers. One of them tweets mid-game, I came for a game. I got baptized. Inside the Fever huddle, Coach Stanley keeps it simple. Finish it. And Caitlin does. With just under 2 minutes left, she takes one final possession. Then, crowd knows. Her teammates clear out. She's at the top of the key again, alone. And who's in front of her? Marina. One last time. Caitlin dribbles between her legs, fakes left, steps right, then pulls. But she doesn't watch it. She turns away before the ball even drops. The shot falls. Of course it does. The arena explodes like someone hit a game winner. And that's when Marina walks off the court, not subbed out, not benched. She just leaves the floor. Straight to the locker room. No eye contact, no handshake, just gone. And the moment becomes iconic. Sports pages everywhere start posting, Marina walks out after Caitlyn's final dagger. Revenge complete. Clark ends it with a walk-off. Silence the hate with buckets. By the time the final buzzer sounds, it's a blowout. Indiana Fever 91. Connecticut Sun 70. No one talks about the score, though. They talk about what they witnessed. The arena stays packed. No one wants to leave. Kids are screaming her name. Fans are crying, waving signs that read "Caitlyn saved our season" and "Rookie no more." In the post-game interview, reporters swarm her, but Caitlyn just smiles, wipes sweat from her face, and says, "I wasn't trying to prove anyone wrong. It's proving myself right." Mike. Drop. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Suns' press room is silent. Marina doesn't show. Coach Miller gives a half-hearted statement. But it doesn't matter. Everyone knows what happened. She got cooked. Burned. Outplayed.n. Clark didn't just win the game. She won the narrative. That night, Twitter was on fire. #Caitlyn Revenge. #Rookie no more.
7 from 3. She can't shoot on the road. 4 of 14 from the floor, but plus 21 in the box score. They're doubling.
No more #WNBA history. Even NBA stars jumped in. Damian Lillard tweeted, "Nah, that girl is cold. Cold, cold." LeBron said on his story, watching greatness unfold. And then came the memes. Marina disappeared like a ghost. Caitlyn with a crown photoshopped on her head. One post showed Caitlyn standing over a cartoon grave with a tombstone labeled "Haters." In just one night, the narrative flipped, and everyone who once doubted her, silent. Because when Caitlyn Clark plays with vengeance, you don't just lose the game, you get buried under it. The night wasn't over, even after the final buzzer. Even after the arena started to clear out. The aftershocks of what Caitlyn Clark just did kept echoing through every corner of the WNBA. This wasn't just a game, it was a public reckoning, and everybody felt it. Reporters were scrambling, fans were still outside chanting, content creators were editing clips faster than ever. The OneBuzz official Instagram posted a slow-mo replay of Caitlyn's final shot, the one where she turned away before the ball even hit the net. The caption, "Believe her now." The post hit over 1 million views in under an hour. Back inside the locker room, Caitlyn sat quietly. Not gloating, not screaming, just sitting on a folding chair, towel over her head, processing the moment. Cameras waited outside. Producers were whispering to each other. Get ready, this might be the interview of the season. Aaliyah Boston sat beside her and said, "That was legendary." Caitlyn finally smiled. That was overdue. The team was electric, but they gave her space. Because deep down, they knew this night meant more to her than anyone else in the room. Not just because of the win, but because of everything that led up to it. The elbows, the cheap shots, the interviews where veterans said she wasn't ready, the tweets mocking her hype. The moments she got knocked down and nobody extended a hand, she remembered all of it. And tonight, she answered it all with buckets. Meanwhile, Marina Mabrey was nowhere to be seen. Not in the post-game press room. Not on the bench in the fourth. And definitely not online. Her socials had gone silent. Not even a story post. People were calling it a walk of shame, but in reality, it looked more like retreat. That image of her walking off the court before the game ended. It had already gone viral. One sports page captioned it, "When karma hits harder than defense." Across the 1BE, players were reacting. Some were stunned, some were silent. But a few spoke up. Arike Ogunbowale tweeted, "Not gone, lie." Caitlyn is different tonight, Skylar Diggins posted. Rookie who? She just gave y'all 30 and vibes. Even Kelsey Plum reposted a clip with the words, "Y'all lit a fire and got burned." Suddenly the narrative shifted. No more jokes. No more side eyes. No more talk about she needs to prove herself. 'Cause tonight, she proved it all. Sports networks changed their rundown last minute. ESPN did a full segment titled Caitlin Clark Silences the League. They broke down every shot, every pass, every reaction. Analysts were replaying the Marina matchup frame by frame. One former player said Marina came for her with ego. Caitlin answered with legacy. But it wasn't just about stats, it was how she did it, with class, with silence, with shots that landed deeper than words ever could, and that made it hit even harder. By the next morning, headlines were everywhere. Rookie turns the league upside down. Clark's revenge tour begins in flames. Marina Mabrey disappears. After Caitlin's historic night, one headline stood out the most. She ain't the future, she's the present. Caitlin was trending on every platform. TikTok edits were flying soundtrack layered over her shots. Zoom-ins of Marina's reactions, fan reactions, crying and screaming. One video had over 4 million views in under 12 hours. Fans were calling it the game that changed everything. On podcasts, hosts were debating, is Caitlin already top 5 in the league? Has she shut down the narrative? What does this mean for players like Marina who came at her neck? Some even said Marina's whole career arc might change from this one night, and low-key. They weren't wrong. Sources close to the Connecticut Sun reported that Marina skipped team shoot-around the next day. Some said she was mentally exhausted.
On the floor. She was plus 21.
Caitlin Clark got sneaky hot. She had a plus 21 in this game. 14 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists.
Mentally exhausted. Others hinted at internal conflict. But the truth was simple. She got embarrassed. On the biggest stage of her season, and the league watched quiet because now nobody wants to smoke with Caitlin. Not after that, in a surprise move. The Fever's official team account dropped a picture that sent fans wild. It was Caitlin in the locker room, holding her jersey, looking into the camera with no smile. It's just that same locked-in face she had all night. The caption, "Talk loud, play louder." Comments blew up. This needs to be a poster. Rookie of the Year. No debate. Marina got to switch teams at this point, but behind all the chaos, Caitlin stayed quiet. Her post-game interview dropped, and she didn't brag once. "I've been through a lot," she said, "but I never let it make me bitter. I just kept working." Tonight was about showing what that work looks like. A pause. Then she added, "And I hope everybody watched." That clip alone hit 1 million views, but the moment that really shook. Fans came late that night, someone, no one knows who, leaked unseen tunnel footage of Marina after she left the court. She looked broken, sitting on a bench near the locker room, head in her hands, staff member trying to console her, and the audio. You could barely hear it, but she muttered, "I thought she was just hype." Those 6 words blew up. Everyone posted it. Everyone clipped it. Everyone reacted to it. You thought wrong? That's why you don't underestimate greatness. She found out the hard way. The next game for Indiana Fever sold out in minutes. Caitlin's jersey hit backorder status, and the league. They updated their promo schedule. Caitlin was now the face, because girl they all doubted just brought the highest-rated regular season WNBA game in history. Fans called it the revenge game. Others named it the Caitlin game. But one fan on Reddit...
Caitlin was fantastic in the fourth quarter. You live by Caitlin, you die by Caitlin.
On Reddit said it best. It wasn't revenge. It was resurrection. Because they tried to bury her. And she came back on fire. And so the story lives on. The rookie who wasn't supposed to shine. The vet who tried to dim her light. And the night it all flipped. Because Caitlin Clark didn't just win a game. She rewrote her chapter, and this time, everybody's reading. And now, you tell me, was this just a good game or the start of a whole new era? Caitlin Clark didn't just drop buckets. She dropped a message. No shade, no drama, just cold-blooded dominance. And she didn't need to talk because the scoreboard spoke for her, but the question still remains. Did Marina Mabrey really think she could play mind games with that kind of player? Will other vets follow in her footsteps and test Caitlin again? Or has the league learned, once and for all, that she's not the future? She's right now. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Marina will clap back in the next game? Will Caitlin keep this momentum and silence everyone by the end of the season? And who's next in line to catch these buckets? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon because this story ain't over. More receipts are coming, more drama's brewing, and trust me, you don't want to miss what happens next. This is just the beginning.
Caitlin Clark literally had to get pulled away from referees to keep from getting technical.